lazykh Chapter 2, What Am I Posting Here? Watch Chapter 1 first for context, where I basically lay out my life story, simplified of course, of being both a YouTuber and a Stanford student. So that's a rundown on who I am. What about this lazykh channel I've got? Well, I'm planning on repurposing lazykh to discuss topics I care a lot about but don't fit in with my other channels. Specifically, I want to discuss the less glamorous aspects of living an adult life in modern USA. For example, urban planning, mental health, the college to career transition, my disillusionment with the corporate world, the validity of content creation as a job, the psychology of being self-employed, the pitfalls of perfectionism, and many more topics like that. Okay, here's another way to think about it. I want to share my hot takes with how this 21st century world is set up. Like, I think it's dystopian that you could spend hours perfecting your resume just for employers to end up using automated computer programs to filter you out. No humans even getting the chance to hear you make your case. Or that, yes, I think the general internet public could learn a thing or two by listening more to academic professors, but in some sense, academic professors could also learn a thing or two by listening more to the general internet public. So yeah, hot takes, which to be honest weren't that hot. But of course, I'll explain these ideas more clearly when it's time to. So, I've never made a Draw My Life video, and that trend isn't really around anymore. But if I were to, I think it would be impossible to tell my life story without 1. Breaking it into smaller parts, and 2. Acknowledging the opinions and feelings I felt along the way. So you can think of what I'm putting together on lazykh as my Tell My Life video series in a loose sense. Since these videos may discuss more serious subjects, I probably won't be focusing too much on jokes and humor. Okay, I don't think that's entirely true. I think it's impossible to become a humorless robot, so if there's a joke opportunity that arises, I'm gonna take it. But that's not the main point of these videos. Realize that my target audience is people who have experienced similar things to me, meaning also adults, not kids. Because of this, I may use swear words to more accurately pinpoint the concept I'm trying to get across, such as using the word shitpost instead of garbage post. Sometimes there's just no way to politeify language without also watering down crucial meaning. In many of these chapters, I may just be airing my grievances I have about some bullshit, like parking in LA. Sure, that might just sound like whiny complaining, coming from someone who has a relatively privileged life on the whole. But perhaps my fellow 20-somethings can relate to that grievance, and I believe hearing that other people agree with you on a rarely discussed subject can actually feel relieving and empowering, just knowing that you've got numbers on your side. Next, this channel is called lazykh, and the word lazy usually has a negative connotation. In this context, though, I'm using lazy to mean that I won't be perfecting every aspect of these videos, or even providing fancy visuals to go along with my speaking. As I've grown up, I've realized that I find the task of just writing and nothing else quite fast and enjoyable, and I have so many thoughts I want to get pen to paper on. Were I to animate eye-catching visuals along with everything I say, yes, it would be more engaging to watch, but since it would take 10 times longer to make, I'd only be able to speak my mind on 1/10 of the topics I want to, which would be a real shame for the remaining 90%. One more thing I want to mention. A lot of the concepts I want to discuss intertwine with each other, like the rise of remote work during the pandemic and the decrease in third spaces. I want each lazykh video to be bite-sized and only cover one main topic, so it isn't overwhelming to write or to watch. So if a lazykh video discusses topic A, but briefly touches on related topic B, which I'd love to dive deeper into in a later video, then I'll tag it with the symbol tikbavful. This could be another video for later. This is not a guarantee that I'll ever make that video, because the last thing I want is to pile more obligations on my plate. It's just an acknowledgement that I have more thoughts about topic B that I don't want to waste your time getting into right now, but sit me down in the future to talk about it, and I'd have a lot more to say. Lastly, of course, I am not the only source of information on topics. If you really are curious on what remote work or third spaces really are, I encourage to Google it yourself and read experts' opinions on everything. I'm only going to enter the fray with my opinions if I think I have a new perspective to provide. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I'm planning on doing with lazykh in 2024. This might be a complete tone shift from anything else I've ever made online before, aside from that 2016 video, Is Stressing Kids Out a Form of Child Abuse, and a few others. So I honestly have no idea how well or poorly it's going to be received. I guess only time will tell. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.